I've always been a huge fan of PartyNextDoor, and luckily recently I've been tapped in with some producer homies of mine who've been working on his next project, and I've also produced some crazy stuff for PartyNextDoor in the past, and they're constantly hitting me up asking me to send vibes for him. So in this video, I'm going to cook up a new pack of beats for PartyNextDoor 100% from scratch to show you what it's like actually cooking up inside of the industry for huge artists like PartyNextDoor. And at the end of the video, I'm going to send the pack off to hopefully land a song with PartyNextDoor. But anyways, let's dive right in. So like I said, my boys have been hitting me up constantly for stuff for Party, and one big thing that I see happening in the industry now is using project files versus just loops. So a lot of guys like getting FLPs, which is just FL Studio project files, instead of loops, because if you think about it from their perspective, right? If you had too many opportunities to physically cook up for, you physically didn't have the time to make enough beats to meet the demand of all these opportunities that you have going. So if you get a project file of a beat that's pretty close to done, and then you could add your own taste on it, it's a lot easier for you as the producer with an opportunity to make the play, because you don't need to sit there and make 10 beats completely from scratch. You can get 10, 80% of the way there beats, add your little 20%, help a producer who doesn't have that connection out, and get more product that you can push out to your connections. And one thing that I'll say is sometimes these producers that are close with these artists know certain things about their sound and have been in sessions with them, and they might actually save your beat, even if it wasn't bad, but they might save it as far as that artist's taste so that it's more likely to get placed. So today I'm going to be making some beats completely from scratch, and then I'm going to send off those FLP files later on. And to start off, I wanted to cook up some more like typical ambient PartyNextDoor kind of stuff with those slow halftime trap soul kind of drums that you can hear on most of his records. So let's get into that. So let's turn on the synths and get into that. First thing I'm thinking of starting with is just like some synthy keys on the Prophet. Quick little sauce. This plugin, Clevgram Roosevy, if you're recording live synths, is great because look, we can listen to this white noise, learn that noise profile, and then instantly it's taken out. So then the recording doesn't sound all noisy like it used to. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this melody that we just made, and then I'm going to throw it through my Chroma Console guitar pedal with this reverse delay feature right here. I'm just going to chop and flip it, and we're going to just process the whole sample through that to see if it comes out with something cool. As you can see right here, we're just recording the audio, and I can't even hear it right now, but it's just chopping and reversing what we've got right here, and it's recording it through the guitar pedal right here. So we're going to listen to this after and try to flip that recording. So let's hear what that sounds like. So it sounds super cool, but it's like way too fast. So we're gonna need to slow it down and kind of chop this up. So let's hop in and get to work on that. Right there, it changes chords. Right here it changes chords. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to reverse all these back to playing like normal, but it's going to have this like chopped, weird kind of sound to it. So now I'm just going to go in and reverse all of these because I feel like I can hear the timing a little bit better when it's reversed. Get a cool little effect like this. Yeah, something like this, cool little pale texture. And then maybe half speed that. Maybe for a little B section right here. Bring this in. Alright, so all in all right now, this is what we have. I think what we need to do is just add some effects. Maybe a little vocal chop. I don't know, I think that might be forcing it. And then drums, and I think we're good. Just arrange it out, sauce it up a little bit. This is my favorite part. So now I'm just gonna arrange this out a little bit. Create a few more different sections. Maybe bringing in the pad right there. Little like Moog siren kind of lead. Yeah, something like this feels like there's more space on the beat. Alright, so now I'm just gonna go in and start adding effects to all these sounds. On this one, I think I want to go into my plugin, mess with adding some chorus. Something like that is nice. Nice like analog sounding chorus. There's also this width knob right here, so if I wanted it completely mono, I could put it at 0. If I wanted it more stereo, I could put it at 2. And it's just like a nice little like stereo image kind of tool. I think this is good to just drag into FL to do some drums. All right, so what I'm gonna do is actually open up this drum mastery kit now to do these drums. And one thing that I really like doing is using these project templates. So we have project templates for Ableton, FL Studio, and Logic Pro in here for every single one of these genres inside of the kit. This is like R&B loop, so I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna choose this trap soul template. It's good for like these party next door kind of vibes. And then when you open it up right here, it'll have all of the sounds pre-selected. So these are all sounds that work well for these trap soul kind of beats. So let's just drag in the melody and get started with that because it just makes it so fast to cook up. And I feel like working in the industry, sometimes you gotta like, you know, someone wants something now and you gotta get that shit over. Maybe a cool little kick thing at the end where it goes bump, 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 bump. I like that one. Kind of clashes with this kick hit, so maybe I'll get rid of that kick hit because I like that snare hit right there. Put down a 2-step hi-hat pattern like this, duplicate it over like that, less dramatic. I like adding these little like ambient perks that are in here on the second snare hits. Let's see what these little like drum fills sound like. Yeah, something like this is kind of cool. So I feel like using different project files for your drums and for your loops is a good way to kind of make yourself look at it objectively, and then you're only worried about what makes the beat sound best, not the loop. Real quick, if you like the drum sounds in those beats and you've been struggling to get professional sounding drums in your beats, I got something super special for you: Drum Mastery. Inside of this kit, you're gonna get the best drum sounds for a ton of different genres like pop, R&B, which you heard in that beat that I was just making, trap, experimental stuff like weird Kanye, Travis Scott, experimental weird sounds, international, which has like Afro and reggaeton kind of sounds, which I'm actually about to show you in a second. But inside each of these genres, you're getting drum one-shots, so actual really high quality drum sounds, drum loops with stem, melody loops. I think there's over 130. There's also fully mixed project files that have all the sounds pre-selected for you, like I was showing earlier in the tutorial, for FL Studio, Logic, and Ableton. And one of my favorite things is the live percussion loops, especially in the international folder. So there's a bunch of stuff like live played drum breaks, live hi-hat loops, or in the case of the international kit, which I'm about to show you in a second, there's a bunch of stuff that I worked on with live percussion players like shaker loops, bongos, and all that good stuff that instantly adds that Afrobeat, Latin kind of sound to your production. So if you're interested in leveling up your drums and getting, in my opinion, the best drum kit that money can buy, click that first link in the description down below to check out Drum Mastery. And let's get back into the video. So next up, I wanted to do some sort of like dancey kind of one. Party has a bunch of these songs like Not Nice. It's like these like more like dancehall-ish kind of drums. This one's more like a reggae vibe, but it's still like that more like dance international kind of vibe. This one's like a much more like trap sound selection, but still has like that dancey kind of vibe. Yeah, I think we could do something like this for sure. Is go into this international kit inside of Drum Mastery. So there's a bunch of these like super live sounding ones like this. I feel like this is a little too organic for Party Next Door. A little bit more like this where it's like kind of warped. So I might low-key just export this at the BPM that we've got it and then bring it into Logic, because I just like making melodies in Logic a lot better. And I feel like the melody on this one, I want this one to be pretty simple. Alright, so I think I'm just gonna copy that chord progression that we just did. Yeah, I want to do like a simple melody like that just kind of accents what the chord's doing. It's not like doing like a bunch of runs and stuff. First, I'm just going to add a little bit of some effects to this. Maybe a little vocal would be nice in here. Ooh, that could be hard, like right there. No, like that's kind of hard. And then now I feel like maybe like some kind of like higher energy pad for like a hook section. I put this as like a little reverb dot perk loop just in the back. I feel like now I'm not really trying to add more melodies. I'm just trying to add some variety, you know, just change the type of pad or the type of synth key or something for each different section so it feels a little different. So I might grab... Yeah, that was hard. Alright, let's export this and bring it into FL. Sometimes I end up adding more stuff to the loop once I like start adding the drums. Sometimes when I drag it in and I start doing drums, I'll realize like, oof, it's kind of empty in this pocket right here. And then I'll go back into the loop project file, add something there and all that. This perk loop again, like the international perk loops are just, it makes it so easy to make these kind of beats. Yeah, this sounds a lot better. feel like I want to go in on the piano roll of this little snare. Just put it just a tiny bit off so it's not hitting so hard with that kick when they're hitting on the same note. I want to go into the drum fills right here. There's this little like island drum fill that I love using. This one. Or this one. I think this one might sound sick though. And then some sort of like impact. Let's try something like this. That's actually hard. I just kind of dragged in a random one, but that's kind of hard for like a little. These dance songs that Party gets on, they're not too complicated drum wise, so I don't want to add too much more. So what I like to do for the bass on these is like kind of like an A and B. Like there's like one bass that hits on the one, and then maybe one bass that comes in like with that second kick hit. Kick sound. So now I'm just boosting the high end on a lot of these drum sounds. Real quick, before we get into the last beat, I just want to give you guys a quick tip whenever you're cooking up for these industry opportunities, and it's to not over-reference a song that the artist has already done. Like if you listen to that beat that I was just doing, you can hear that it's kind of in the lane of some of those songs that I had played earlier with that Afro dancehall kind of bounce that Party has used in the past, but it doesn't just sound like a carbon copy of this song. But especially if it's a song that kind of stands out from their typical sound, you don't want to copy it too hard because it could come off gimmicky, like you're just making a cheap Walmart version of that song. But anyways, let's hop into the last beat. All right, so for this last beat, I've been getting hit up a lot recently by people who want like these 80s R&B kind of like wavy electric piano vibes like you can hear on the Swag album by Justin Bieber. There's definitely a lot of guitar vibes, but I'm thinking more of those like electric piano kind of songs with like these big reverbed out drums and stuff. Cool. So I feel like the core elements that I'm kind of picturing are like those 80s R&B-ish drums, and then like some keys and like really like a simple beat, but it has like this like, I don't know, there's nostalgic wavy kind of energy to it. I think what I want to do is start with the drums first. I feel like we could do some cooler chord stuff and playing on this if we have some rhythm down. But let's just throw in some like 80s. Maybe like layer these two, and then let me look up what BPM this Sweet Spot song is. That's another great tip. Like if you're trying to make something similar to some song, a great place to start is just like getting the right BPM. So we're gonna go like really like slow jam kind of vibe. Maybe we'll go to like 77. Something like this. I'm even going to go into the pop folder and maybe layer in some of the 80 snares that are in the pop folder of Drum Mastery, because there's a bunch of good ones in here. Yeah, like I really like in those 80s vibes, there's always like this like one snare with a bunch of reverb at the end. Let's put down a two-step hi-hat. Maybe a little pause right there. I like this like reverb kind of sound. And then there's this perk that I really want to use. These shakers are nice too. Yeah, something like this is nice. Something like this. I like this. All right, and then I feel like the bass and stuff we'll figure out once we get the actual chords down. So let's export this as a drum loop really quick and then bring that into Logic. And then I want to go to Keyscape, because Keyscape has these really good, like you don't want an electric piano that sounds like these like 70s kind of electric pianos. You want these wind keyboards right here, or not wind, vintage digital keys. These have like that 80s. All right, so I like that first half. So I'm just gonna delete that second half and let's try to record in. So this sounds pretty similar to like that Justin Bieber kind of vibe. So I want to figure out a way if we can kind of take that sound, but not just make like a rip off of that and make it feel more like a Party Next Door kind of beat. So I think one thing we could do that with is like a more modern-ish kind of synth pad. Maybe if we throw a little reverse vocal in there.
Chills all over my body. I lose control.
Let's try to reverse that, see what we get. One of my favorite ways to reverse it is using my pedal right here. And then I want to throw my plugin on again, but this time I want to do it for some delay. And a little reverb maybe. Ooh, I feel like it hits different when it's pitched down though. Funny enough, I actually already sent off some of the beats for the party pack, even though I was supposed to save it to the end of the video. They hit me and said they needed stuff now. So I actually just sent some stuff from the Discord. I gotta hit my boy for the stems to one of them real quick. Gotta tell my boy Quincy to send the stems. Back to this. I feel like what could set this off, I feel like it's one of those beats that needs to stay simple like this, melodically. That's kind of cool. I don't know what chord I just made, but I hear the bass note going to that C. So I'm just going to put all these notes on C so that it... And then on the second time it can go up. So it goes like... So with that bass line in, we get this. So sometimes like reharmonizing your melodies with different bass notes than you originally laid down can be super cool. You just got to make sure that you match the chord MIDI with the new bass line that you want to put in. This one right here, I love the tone of these keys. So I want to add something that gives this kind of vibe. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but... Put a little chorus on that. Let's export that, bring it back into FL Studio, and finish this one off. Ooh, I actually really like that for like a hook section maybe. So right here, we want to go in with that lower velocity hi-hat. I want to select this stuff. Bring it over here for a verse, and then right here, let's make this one unique, pitch it up an octave. I feel like that's just like one of my favorite things to do when I'm using a loop to make it feel like a hook. Turn it way down. Because then it adds that like high energy, high into it, but I'm not like adding in new sounds that make it too complex. All right, so right here we have the pack, and as you can tell, I have way more than the 3 beats that I just cooked up because I hit up my Discord, free Discord server. The link is in the description where I have opportunities for stuff like this if you want to collab with me on my opportunities. So I filled up some of the beats from there, but what I like to do is I always put an exclamation mark on the beats that I am the most confident in, that I like the most. And then also, this is where I want to give a quick tip. So the easy thing to do here would be to just send this folder as I have it now, right? Like the beats that I have now, and then if they want the files to something, I could just go and like send them the files. But you're gonna get a lot further in this industry if you are someone who like meticulously fits the opportunity's needs. So if you get hit up by someone and they say, yo, I don't need loops, I need FLPs, even if it's more natural for you to send a pack of loops out, if you want to actually make that opportunity work, you need to make it easy for the person with the opportunity. So if they're asking me for FLPs, I'm gonna go in right here on FL and I'm gonna go to export and zipped loop package. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna save this as a zip. If we go right here, boom, you see the zip right there. If you're to open this zip, it has the FLP and all of the sounds that you have in the FLP there as well, so that they don't have to like download the same drum kit you used and all that kind of stuff. So I would just go through and do this for all of the beats in the pack. So then I would send the pack like this on iMessage or email, wherever they want it. Always try to fit what they want you to do if you want the best chances for yourself to get something placed. And then from there, what I typically like to do is like if there's some standout ones, like I really like this one right here, I really like this one, so maybe I would grab these and send those out and be like, these ones crazy or something like that. I don't know, maybe I put an emoji and then that's it. I'm not going to annoy him and ask him, did you listen to the pack? Did you do this? Did you do that? You don't want to be annoying in the industry. You just want to send the pack, do what they ask you to do, and move on like nothing happened. Just hope that something comes from it. And in my experience, if you just work like that and you measure your success on, did I get the pack out? Did I do a good job on the pack? Did I make good stuff? That is success in my head. And then if the placement comes, then that's the cherry on top. But you're never going to get to the point where you start getting those placements if you're not willing to go and do the work. Shoot a bunch of air balls with packs that don't get listened to, the beats don't get used, or whatever it is. Nice little smooth intro. Nasty. Overall, I feel like the hi-hat might be just a little loud. It's trying to... I like this little part with the laser and the hi-hats coming. Maybe lower the volume of the snare. Yeah, this is fire though. Perfect. I'm gonna save that right now. Nice, chill vibe. Hook one more time. Thank you for making it to the end of this one, and just quick reminder, if you like any of those drum sounds, every single one of them is from Drum Mastery. So if you want to level up your beats and be able to make any kind of beat you want, R&B, pop, reggaeton, Afrobeats, trap, experimental, weird stuff, this kit has got you covered. It's got everything you could need to level up your drums today. So click that link in the description if you want to check that out, and I'll catch y'all. Peace. And by the way, let me know what y'all think of this little buzz cut I got going. Let me know.